So here I am in front of Sugarloaf Mountain, one of the most iconic landmarks here in Rio de Janeiro. But I'm never too busy to stop and answer a question. And this one is coming from David up in Yorkshire. The question is, I'm eating too much chocolate. What can I do about it? Now obviously you're not alone on this one. There are a lot of people who have trouble with chocolate or other foods or whatever it may be. What I'd say is, simple answer to that question, two things. One, just stop eating that particular type, the worst food that you have. So if your worst food is dairy milk, then cut that out today. Replace it with whatever is the next acceptable option to your current motivational state. So it could be that dairy milk's your real troublesome food, but something like Kit Kat, you like it, but you don't, love it. You're not obsessed with it, so to speak. That's going to be a lot easier to eat in moderation than that most troublesome food. And though people will say, well, why don't you just replace it with a carrot or something? The reality is, in a low motivational period, you ain't even going to look or sniff at that carrot when you're looking for your favorite chocolate bar. But a lesser chocolate bar you may well be able to put up with. So that'd be the first move I make, is to lessen it. Now, it'd be even better if you could go from, say, a chocolate bar to a packet of crisps that's got even less connection, assuming that is true for you. Obviously, the better thing would be to go for a healthier food. Now, before you can do that, there's one factor you've got to take into account, and that is how many calories do you eat, roughly, when you do a binge. So, when you say you're eating too much chocolate, let's get some numbers on this. Is it 3 bars of chocolate after dinner? Is it 2 bars? If that's the case, then we've now got how many calories you're actually eating. And the reason I say this, a lot of people are just simply under-eating food-wise, under-eating carb-wise, and as a result, they end up binging on carb-based foods. So, if we're going to replace that binge, we need to be able to know how much to replace it with. And this is the idea behind it. So that if you know you eat 500 calories, say 2 chocolate bars when you're going off the rails, what is that in healthier food terms? Well, straight off the bat, it's probably 4 to 5 bananas, depending what your size of the banana. So then you can say and ask yourself, do I want to have 5 bananas or a chocolate bar? And often you'll start to see there's a lot more food when you come down from those real high density foods to the more natural food-based things. The other side of the fence is that if it's actually a nutritional craving, replacing with water or celery stick isn't giving the body what it wants, and you're actually giving it what it needs. And a lot of people struggle this because they're under-eating on carbs, or when they're being healthy, they're under-eating on calories per se, and then the body struggles. So this is what I do, those two simple things. First of all, replace it with anything. So just forget your favorite food, just try and think the most appeasing food that isn't that food, whether it's a lesser chocolate bar, whether it's a packet of crisps, whether it's whatever it may be, because there won't be those connections there which will drive you, lead you astray. Then it's about calculating what you haven't got or what you eat when you go binging, and then seeing what could that also become equal-wise for. So what also has 500 calories if that's the amount. There are obviously a lot of other factors too, food cravings, but that's a simple short stop. That can take you a heck of a long way, that can. And then it'll be about getting back to some of the other reasons for cravings. MPP connection, which is where your mind and body is connected to a certain behavior pattern linked to the food. There's stress, there's so forth. So they're more longer things, handling the stress, emotion, reconditioning those neural patterns. But in the short term, change away from the real troublesome food, calculate an alternative healthy calorie-based option, and then play with those two things. You might be surprised about the results.